Hello class, this is Demetrius Wilson again, Human Relations, Strategies for Success, your external and internal customers, Chapter 13. Your internal customers, those are the people who you work with. Your external customer, those are the individuals that give your company money. Simply put, but that's exactly what it is. Now, some people can have great customer service with their external customers, but not good customer service with their internal customers. And you have to have good customer service and good relations with both. So, our learning objectives. Explain how to determine what customers really want, right? Because who cares what you think they want? It only matters what they really want. Define customer service. Describe the internal customer, right? I just explained who those internal customers are, but we'll go into more detail. List the two simplest principles of customer service and give examples of issues in customer service. And oh, there are plenty. I've run customer service units for years, and not many people call up just to say, hey, you know what, Demetrius, you're doing such a great job, right? They're calling to complain they have a problem with something. More learning objectives, compare and contrast ways to handle a difficult customer, and it does take a certain skill set to do so. Explain the significance of going the extra mile. List the ways to use strong ethics in customer service, and explain the moral of Poor George story and how it relates to customer service. I've used different things for training on soft skills, such as the telephone doctor. Works really well to sort of show people, hey, this is you. Can you change and can you do it better? So, what do customers really want? Satisfied and happy customers are the scarcest and most crucial resource, right? Because these satisfied and happy customers, they're going to keep coming back to you. Good feelings and solutions are the only two things that customers really buy. Good feelings and solutions. High quality customer service leads to a good solution, a good feeling about what you're dealing with. Customer service is a part of successful selling. It's satisfied customers, they come back, right? So if you purchase something, you like it, you're going to come back and purchase it again. You're not going to purchase something and then say, I liked it, but you know what, I'm just not going to go back there. Cost of finding a new customer is greater than keeping an existing one. Now, I work in retention at my company, and it's this thing called a leaky bucket, right? So if you have a bucket, no matter how much water goes into that bucket, if water's leaking out of the bottom of it, you're still never going to fill the bucket. Unhappy customers have a high cost. They share unpleasant experiences with others. Word of mouth is still the number one and the most crucial type of advertising. Oh, you don't want to give me money back for my lunch? That was terrible. Okay, I'll go talk to everybody on Yelp and Twitter and Facebook about your establishment and how terrible it is. They share unpleasant experiences with others. If I like a restaurant, I may tell two of you. If I don't like a restaurant, I'm going to tell everybody. Just think about it. It's human nature. Customer relations is a challenging aspect of human relations skill development. And, I really think we should have like a full-time class just on customer service and those skills such as those provided by the telephone doctor. An internal customer depends on other people in the company to provide services and products to the external customer. It does not walk away when the service is bad. Responsibilities toward internal customer, the manager, ensure the needs of every person in your area are being met, right? And for the worker, be loyal. So, principles of customer service. Find out what the customer needs, right? What do they need? If they need something, then you fulfill that need. Do whatever is necessary to satisfy those needs. Now, obviously, you can't do every single thing. You can't say, hey, I want a boat, 50-foot yacht, and you say, okay, I'll go get that for you, right? It's not reasonable. So customer needs, basic human needs. So every customer needs includes these: being accepted by others, feeling comfortable, feeling appreciated, being treated with respect, being recognized, being listened to, being welcome and acknowledged, being treated as an individual, and being treated with fairness. Now, I will tell you that everybody doesn't necessarily need all of these, right? I don't think that I need even half of them, right? But Um, every customer has these type of needs and they can fit into these various buckets. Issues in customer service, checking attitude around customers, right? So you always have to check your attitude. So if you are in customer service, I'll give you a great tip to do. What you can do if you get up that tough call and you're kind of beat up and everything, what do? You go ahead and you have a mirror at your desk and it's hung up in your cubicle, and you just look at the mirror and you smile and you get your smile back on, and then you answer the phone and your smile comes through the phone to the other person. Treating customers the same way as they were treated the first time, right? So, if they were treated great the first time and then now you're treating them bad, that's not a way to go about doing things. Delivering bad news. So this is interesting. Bad news skills necessary to deliver bad news to customers, but still retain their business and goodwill. So bad news skills is not just about customers. Bad news skills has to do with internal customers and internal employees as well, because you may have to fire some people in the near and distant future. I would say I've got pretty good bad news skills because unfortunately I've been involved with a lot of layoffs, and one time even on on my side. So bad news skills are necessary to deliver bad news to customers, but still retain their business and goodwill. Do not use weak refusals. Encouraging complaints, right? Give me some feedback. Tell me what I need to do. I'm going to run to my manager. I'm going to tell him what you said, and then we'll fix it. And encouraging complaints. So nice customers never complain, right? And not the word nice, but nice customers never complain, but respond to bad service by taking their business elsewhere, right? So, something happens at this restaurant. I'm not going to say anything about it. I'm just never going to come back. So giving a customer bad news. And here are 4 rules for giving a customer bad news. And I would like for you to listen carefully to these because they can be very, very useful in the future. Use a polite tone of voice. Make it a point to check on this. For many people, vocal tone is mostly innocuous, unless they try specifically to take notice of it. Number 2, don't spend too much time and energy on apologies. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize, right? Apologizing is fine, but most customers want reasons and actions, right? I want you to fix this, Demetrius. Deal with why the problem exists. If you don't know, let the customer know that you will find out and then do it, right? I know so many people say, oh, yeah, I have somebody call you back. They talk to them, they're on the line, and then all of a sudden, they just never call them back. They go into the Bermuda Triangle or somewhere. Deal with why the problem exists. If you don't know, let the customer know that you will find out, right? Then do it. If the problem cause is impossible to discover, go to step 4. Number 4 is talk about what can be done to solve the problem. If possible, this includes alternatives and suggestions from which the customer can choose. When one possible course of action is not available, sell the customer on why that action is best, right? So if you have this one course of action, tell them why this is the way that you should go, and if you have options, explain the options to them. 10 Commandments of Good Business. A customer is the most important person in any business, right? Because you wouldn't have a business unless you have the customer. A customer is not dependent on us. We are dependent on the customer, and we lose sight of that. A customer is not an interruption of our work. The customer is the purpose of our work. A customer does us a favor when he calls in. We are not doing the customer a favor by serving him or her, but that's what we think. We think we're doing them a favor. A customer is part of our business, not an outsider. A customer is not a cold statistic. The customer is flesh and blood, a human being with feelings and emotions like ours. A customer is not someone to argue or match wits with, right? A customer is a person who brings us his or her wants. It is our job to fill those wants. A customer is deserving of the most courteous and attentive treatment we can give, and a customer is the lifeblood of this and every other business, right? And sometimes people just do not understand the fact that, you need the customer, and you're there to assist them, not for them to, be mistreated by you. Uh, Handling difficult customer. Stay focused on long-term needs rather than short-term need of expressing anger or frustration, right? We all want to get angry, we all want to get frustrated about certain things, but you have to learn to control it. Do USA, serenity now, whatever you need to do, but you need to control your anger. Avoid the self-esteem trap, and this happens all the time. Happens when people say, you know what, this guy just really beat me up, so I'm gonna have a bad attitude for the rest of the day. So every call after the argument that you have with this guy is gonna be a bad call, and that's because of the self-esteem trap. Circumstance that comes from taking a customer's attack personally and letting it affect your own self-esteem. Right? So try and calm the customer. Easier said than done. Sometimes you just gotta let it all out and then go from there. Going the extra mile involves giving customers small extra products or services, a way of showing appreciation for their business. Does not cost much to the company but provides favorable returns. And one thing I've learned is that if you give them something by surprise, like if it's a surprise, whether it be an internal customer or external customer, man, they really love it. They really love it. If I just come by and say, hey, here's a $25 gift card. And they say, why, Demetrius? I say, hey, you know what? Just because. Customer service ethics define the quality of the services the customer will receive, and they can be measured by promoting desired values, making frontline workers follow the rules. So who is running the business? Set the limits on the extent to which a customer is allowed to run the business, right? So customer, they say, oh, customer's always right. Well, no, they're not always right. Never allow customers to undermine company decisions. So you know how far you can go. So the Poor George story illustrates the perils of letting the customer run the business. Moral of the story: respect customers and give them the highest quality service. Never let customers never let customers run the business, right? And you say, well, what do you mean by let them run the business? Well, they can call you and ask for a discount, ask for this, say you need to change this, you need to change that, when 99.9% of people are okay with it. Relationship selling. And I used to do a bit of relationship selling, and I'll explain that in a second. So, forming a meaningful relationship with customers, which makes them much more likely to return. So, in yesteryear, I used to sell copiers, right? Big Ricoh copiers, expensive as all get back. But instead of just going in and saying, do you want to buy a copier? What we would do is we would say we're doing some type of study, and they would allow us to go in and check their printers. And then we would say, on this date, August 1st, your printer showed this. On this date, September 1st, your printer showed this. This is how many pages you produced. And everybody would be astonished. And we said, if you took this money, the amount of money that you spent on, on paper and things like that, then that would, if you took that money and said we're not going to use ink and paper and all that stuff, and then put that towards the purchase of the copier. So it was like a relationship buy. So you come back and you look at the meters and you say, hey, you guys have used this much paper. That means you would have bought this many cartridges, and there's your money, voila. So for instance, like for me, relationship sale, I said, okay, well, I want an electric car. Right, and some of the class I'm in, we all laugh and have a good joke about it. But I do a cost benefit analysis on it, and I say, hey, you know what? How much am I spending on gas? And the amount that I spend on gas, will that cover the car payment? And it did. So for me, it was a no-brainer. So forming a meaningful relationship with customers, which makes them more likely to return, is a relationship selling. All right, so for this chapter, that was pretty quick. Got through those pretty swiftly. As always, have a good day. Have a great week. Read your chapter, review your PowerPoint, and take your quiz.